is up? Welcome to day one of Beauty Boot Camp. Thank you guys for joining. So today we are actually going to be doing ancient Egypt makeup look. I'm doing the women's one, obviously, because as a woman, and we're going to be doing the women's one. But I do have a few facts. I went ahead, I thought it'd be fun, if we're going to be doing like back in time kind of looks, I thought it'd be fun if I went and looked up a lot of facts that maybe we don't know about ancient Egypt. Now, fun fact about me, I'm trying to look up the page and everything like that, because I do have a lot of stuff written down that I'm going to tell you guys that you guys may not know about ancient Egypt and some of the culture and some of the makeup that they had done and what was their culture behind makeup. Because we know that ancient Egypt was known for the very dark, beautiful cat eye kind of look, where the, the eyeliner and stuff like that. They were very known for that. But they also had tons and millions of different other makeup things, and why they used them is some of the craziest stuff, also craziest things ever. Also, just little facts here and there as we go along. Now, the first thing I want to talk about ancient Egypt. Like I said, favorite thing in the world, Cleopatra is my love, my queen, my everything. I studied her in high school so much. I read so many books on her. It was crazy. I read so much about her, her life, and I loved just that she was very, front forward. She was very, a lot of people actually didn't like her at first because obviously most of the time, hi Kylie, most of the time when there was a ruler in ancient Egypt, it was a man. Usually it was a man who was a pharaoh. He was a pharaoh. And Cleopatra apparently Cleopatra came along, and she was technically the first woman pharaoh, to rule over Egypt. And a lot of people actually at first were very upset over this, also because of her, love affair with, what was his name? Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Somebody will remember and tell me, because it's been a long time since I remember this stuff. I forget the love affair with I forget what his name, but a lot of people really looked down on her. But she was one of the greatest rulers of Egypt. She actually helped out so much with crops and so many things, but she did die at a very young age. I forget the age time, sorry. I know some stuff, I don't know all of it. But she did die at a very young age due to, disease and all that good stuff that happened back then, and she ended up dying at a very, I think she died at don't quote me, but I know she died in her 30s or 40s, which is very young. But she was apparently one of the beautifulest rulers. Every man wanted her kind of thing, and that's something that I loved about her. Not that every man wanted her, but she was very empowering. She was very, I'm here to rule, I'm taking over this fucking place. Excuse what I said, but that's basically what she is. She is an empowering woman that's like, I'm here, I'm taking over, I'm the woman pharaoh, and you guys are going to follow and lead me, and I'm going to lead us all to victory. So that's something I loved about her. Alright, so I have a few other, little nits and pics here. First thing, we're going to get into the makeup that they actually did. So back in the day of ancient Egypt, if you guys didn't know this, that the makeup they wore was definitely from the land. That is something that we should all kind of know. Hi, Brooke! That we all should know that the makeup they had was from the land. Now, the eyeshadow they used, or the, for their eyes and stuff like that, was made from, coal. There we go. Coal and stuff like that. So they made their stuff from coal. Some of their foundations, they actually did have kind of like a foundation. It wasn't actually called a foundation. It was a protector basically from the sun and stuff like that. It was made from different oils and stuff like that. I don't really remember right off the top of my head what oils, but they used those oils to create kind of a barrier. Now they wore this makeup, this crazy makeup, because it thought it pleased the gods and it would help protect them and help protect the gods and things like that. So they wore a good bit of makeup just so that they could protect themselves from the sun, to please their gods and everything like that, which I find really interesting. I actually did not know that. Now, I don't have all the crazy stuff that they had. That's the thing. So I don't have coal and stuff like that, but the main things they wore were obviously the eyeliner under their eyes and at the top of their eyes. Another fun fact about that is, we all know, what I'm going to probably be doing today, which is right off the back, the really sharp eye under their eyes and stuff like that. But there were actually about 10 to 20 different eye looks depending on your social status in Egypt. So each status, and even each gender, had a different eye look, had a different, thing that they added to it. So if you were high up in the rankings for women, you would do that, but then you'd have like different lines coming out, which I'm going to do under here. You would have the lines, I forget what it's called, and you would have it under there, and you'd have it flaring out and stuff like that. If you were more lower, if you were one of the slaves mainly, is what they were. A lot of people who built the Sphinx and stuff like that, they were mainly slaves that did it from other lands or from other, little empires and stuff like that. you would wear that cat eye that we most known. That was the most known one because that's where mainly, you know, the population was slaves and stuff like that, and they were the ones that wore the cat eye most. So that's where they mainly got it from. Now, that doesn't mean that the ancient Egypts, you know, were just like, okay, only slaves can wear that. That was just mainly like, you know, that's them and we're here. But mainly women of higher status wore the really crazy ones with like the designs coming out. Another fun fact before I get into this, I know I'm just going down the facts because I think it's really cool. I think it's cool. It's nice to, you know, put that out there that you guys know this. So when we get into this, you're like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. Another fact is they did wear gold eyeshadow. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, somebody just puts that on just because, you know, they were all about gold and stuff like that and like being in the desert. No, actually, I forget what her name was. I don't remember her name. God help me, it was not Cleopatra, it was someone else. She was a pharaoh's wife, and or one of the pharaoh's wives, if you didn't know that pharaohs had multiple wives. The pharaoh's wife, and she actually got sand and gold shavings and made gold eyeshadow, and she would place it on her eyes. She would take water or sticky putty kind of pigment, I forget what it's called. It helped like stick stuff together back then, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it's called. But she'd place it on her eyes, and then she'd place the sand and the gold shavings onto her eyes, and then do her eye stuff, which I thought was so cool. I thought that was just a thing that kind of people put on their eyes. They were just like, okay, we're just gonna place that on our eyes. They actually did do that. Now, not everybody did that because not everybody could afford gold shavings on their eyes, but they did do that. So I just thought that'd be some cool stuff for you guys to know about ancient Egypt before we get into this. But yeah, I actually didn't know that. I do have a few things we will go over. You know, I will go ahead and talk about it and just branch on, but we're gonna go ahead and get into this. I just thought this would be some cool little facts for you guys about ancient Egypt's makeup. Because I never really looked into ancient Egypt makeup because it really wasn't like a thing in my head. It was more of Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, there we go, Julius Caesar's love affair and all that good stuff, and all the stuff between them. That's mainly what I looked up, and also like, you know, just how they lived and all of that fun jazz. I never really went into all that. Now, King Tut, I did read all about King Tut and stuff like that because I thought that was really interesting. If you don't know who he is the youngest pharaoh, and he actually died at a very, very young age. I think he was like, what, 13, 14? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was very young when he died, which is really sad. Hi, Karen. Hi, Regan. Hi, Regan. Is it Regan? Regan, I think. And Brooke and Kylie. Hi, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So like I said, they did wear foundation, but a lot of them didn't wear it. They mainly wore their eye look, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm not going to do a full face just because I do want to get this as accurate as possible. Now, my other ones, I will be doing something crazy, but I really like the ancient Egypt look. They had very natural skin, beautiful skin, because they were in the sun a lot, and they just had that beautiful bronzy kind of dark look to them. You know, so I love that, so I'm not going to tamper with my skin because they didn't do that very much. I'm just going to go ahead and do the eyeshadow and the eyeliner and stuff like that and just give you guys a few facts about ancient Egypt. Alright, so let's go ahead. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to use a liquid liner because they actually used very dark and they didn't use pencils. They used, what are those? Kind of like a brush, like a paintbrush, and they would go over their eye. So this is close enough to that. It's very, very, very dense. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Sorry if you hear my son in the background, by the way, guys. He just laid down, so he's kind of having a moment. He's kind of having a moment today. He hasn't been very happy. Every time I do my makeup, my nose starts itching. Every freaking time. Woo! But yeah, he's having his moment today. So I'm just going to let him do it. I'm just going to let him have his moment. Good morning, girl. Good morning, gorgeous. How are you doing today? I may have to sharpen this a little bit. Now, they did do this very densely. That's not dense, I don't know what is. Now, something that I find cool about it is they took it all the way into their eye. That's really cool that they would take it all the way in their eye and then they would connect it and bring it up. So they actually didn't just do, so we have the wing where you connect it and then you do the wing. They actually took it and connected it. And they were actually the first people, the first like makeup people to do the kind of wing. That's actually where we got our wing from, was from the Egyptian people.